right. Hello and welcome to episode 59 of the Rhody podcast. Today I'm joined by rising senior forward of the Colgate Raiders of the Patriot League, men's basketball team, Keegan Records. Keegan's originally from South Kingstown, Rhode Island, where he played at St. Andrews. Appreciate you taking the time. Keegan, how are you today?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Doing well. Yeah, of course. Thank you for joining me again. I like to kind of start with kind of where you started from and then move chronologically to where you are now. So I guess we'll start with, I guess we could just start with how the summer's going for you, how you're staying active, staying healthy, and, what ways you're preparing for next season.
Yeah, as soon as the previous season ends, you start thinking about next season. And right now, obviously, in the summer, I live in Rhode Island, but I bounce back kind of between Rhode Island and Colgate. We got to be up here for we host some elite camps for high schoolers to find, the next Colgate players, basically, find our recruits. And then every year we do like a little kids camp. So we'll be the camp counselors for like the young kids around town. So we got to be up here for like a little over, probably like 20 days in the summer total. So it's not much, but I like to come up here a little early, maybe even stay a little late just to get extra workouts in. So that's what I'm doing right now. Camp starts on Sunday, but I came up here previous Monday. So I've been up here for almost a week now. But just, I got a couple other teammates up here. So we're just working out every day, getting with our coaches, trying to do like individuals, small group workouts. And then we're in the weight room, 3 or 4 times a week. And same thing at home, just try to, get in the weight room, just use the local gym. But we have our strength coach, send us what we're supposed to do. And then just try to stay in shape conditioning wise and try to get some shots up at home too. So just try to stay active and, try to find time to enjoy yourself in the summer too. But, I've been doing.
Yeah, you got to keep yourself busy. So that's great to hear, both at home and also on campus. You're able to do that. A question I always love to start with, just with all the guests that I have or have had on the show is just what is your why or, what motivates you?
Yeah, it's something that we actually talk about a lot on the team. I kind of have a lot of whys, but something is, my family is obviously one thing. Just try to represent, where I come from and who raised me and, who helped me get to this point. And obviously my family is a huge, huge help in getting me to this point and just helping me become the person I am. So obviously my family, and then, my other family is my teammates. So, it's the team, it's the guys you go to work with every day and the guys that push you to try to be the best that you can. And, you look to the side in practice and you think you just got to work hard for them because they want it as much as you do. So you got to keep working. So, my family, and then probably one more thing is just like where I come from, Rhode Island. I love, representing where I come from and small state, but, I love it and like to represent that. So I'd say those are the 3 main things that, there are obviously more, but those are the 3 things that come to mind right away.
Yeah, that's great. I love asking that question. And so often it's family and so often it's also where you come from. And that's another reason why I love doing this podcast is kind of, I guess, just sharing, athletes' stories and kind of uncovering, who individuals are underneath the jersey or behind the number. Because that's so much more important than, just the statistics. Obviously you want to cover that, but, it's really about the person on the court, and what they're doing, the impact that they're making, and where they came from. And actually, it's kind of funny that you had mentioned where you come from and that being Rhode Island. Like I mentioned, I'm from New York, but I've noticed that just from going to school in South Kingstown these last, 2-3 years, Rhode Islanders they take so much pride in, where they come from and the 401, that area. So I love to hear that. That was a great answer. Did you have a mentor, an individual that, pushed you from a young age, maybe someone in your family, or was it a coach?
I was lucky enough to have, a lot of mentors as I kind of stepped through life. Like when I was young, I would say like my grandpa was one of my mentors. He'd always just push me, just try to get me to be the best I could. Like he wouldn't know exactly basketball or whatever sport I was playing, whatever advice, but just general advice to make me stronger and more passionate about what I do. And then, as I became more serious in basketball, I played on the freshman team actually at South Kingstown High School my freshman year. I got a great freshman coach, Coach Coleman, Ray Coleman. I still talk to him, at least once a month now. He texts me before every college game. So he really helped me through all 4 years of high school. And then sophomore and senior year at South Kingstown, I had him too, but I started to play varsity. So I had the varsity coach, Coach Fiore, Roland Fiore, who, who really helped me out. Same thing. He helps me out in the summer. Last summer he was basically in the gym with me like almost every day. So he helped me out a lot. And then I went to prep school and had a great environment there with Coach Mike Hart at St. Andrews, Coach O'Shea, and at that time Coach Burns was there. I was lucky enough that every step that I made basically in my college journey, I mean, getting to college, I had like great mentors. And then obviously, you go home every night to two parents who are awesome and, just help me become who I am. So I've been really lucky on the mentor aspect of life. So.
Yeah, that's great to have, so many resources around you, so many people supporting you. Mental health is a real thing with athletes and, with everyone really. So to have coaches and people to lean on, whether it's something, like I said, on the court that's bothering you, something off the court, those are the kinds of people that are going to be with you, throughout your entire life, especially your parents. I mean, that's, a no-brainer, but the coaches especially, it's so important that you have that kind of relationship with your coaches, and you named a handful of them right there. So another great answer. So like I said, I like to ask questions in, chronological order, sort of, the way that events occurred throughout your playing career leading up to where you are now. So, I mean, we have to start with your time in Rhode Island. Obviously, you grew up in South Kingstown in that area. Was it always basketball from a young age, or how did that sort of transpire over time?
Yeah, I played basketball and baseball when I was younger. And I stopped playing baseball when I was going into my sophomore year. I broke my hand playing baseball, and I was like, all right, time to focus on basketball. Can't be getting these injuries and sacrificing my basketball career. So I stopped playing baseball after my freshman years. But I love baseball, but obviously basketball is what I really love and what I love to do, and obviously what I chose to do. And I played, like I said before, I played basketball since I was probably like 6 or 7. And then obviously, play until right now, 22. So, yeah.
That's great. And you played at SK, which I didn't know, and then also at St. Andrews as well. Talk to me a little bit about that experience in high school.
Yeah, so I had 5 years of high school. So I played 4 years at South Kingstown High School, just, my public high school. And then I did a prep year at St. Andrews. Like I said before, I played on the freshman team at South Kingstown my freshman year. So it was we had about probably 13 or 14 freshman guys just on one team. And, we made a pretty good run. It's kind of where I fell in love with like South Kingstown basketball and like representing where I come from. Cause you're on the court with guys that I went to basically elementary school with. And it's super fun just to go through that journey with some of your best friends. And that's where I knew like I wanted to stay at South Kingstown. And, like I said, I got a great coach my freshman year, and he joined us as an assistant coach on the varsity squad. So just really, really easy choice to stay and keep playing there. And then sophomore through junior year, I played on the varsity team. And then we made it pretty far senior year, made it to the Final Four, played at the Ryan Center, as you know, that is, we lost to Mount Pleasant, who's a team from Providence, and then went to my prep year. So basically after my senior year of high school, I was deciding between, I had a couple of D2 offers, but they weren't like the whole package that I was looking for, like a good education and good basketball. So, it was either going to be like a high academic D3 or, basically prep school. And obviously I chose to go to prep school and fell into great hands at St. Andrews with Coach Mike Hart, Coach O'Shea, and Coach Burns, who helped me, put this shirt on and join Colgate. So it's been pretty awesome. I had a pretty awesome high school career, and lucky enough to have a lot of great coaches and great environment to make it fun. So
yeah. And you talk about how Rhode Island is so small, but I feel like in basketball wise, it's so big. You look at some of the college basketball or D1 level players that have come out of the state of Rhode Island, Sebastian Thomas, Tyler Kolek. Do you ever get the chance to maybe play with them or practice with them at all during the off season?
No, I haven't, not those two, but at St. Andrews, there's a great connections at St. Andrews. Obviously they bring in kids from kind of all over the country and all over the world, really. I played with my prep year. I had a kid from Taiwan on my team, and then obviously kids from all around New England. But you like you said, you meet a lot of great players who spend some time in Rhode Island and play there. St. Andrews is a great connection. Just got I'm sure everybody knows about Cole Swatter just signed with the Lakers. So yeah, I mean, there used to be some really good pickup games when I was in prep school there. You kind of faded away during COVID, but I'm hoping those come back and we get some guys in the gym in the summer. But yeah, but a lot of great connections in Rhode Island.
Yeah, that's great. It's kind of cool that the sport just brings together so many different people. You named Cole Swider, David Duke as well with the Brooklyn Nets. So it's just so cool to see all these guys from little Rhode Island going off to play professionally and at the collegiate level. But moving on towards Colgate, I mean, first off, did you always know you wanted to play college basketball and that it would be at the Division I level?
Yeah, I would say like when I was like probably in like Little League, you always think about like that young age, like, oh, I'd love to play a college sport. And then in high school, I kind of obviously narrowed it down to I want to be a basketball player. And then as time went on, like I said, I was kind of only getting D2 and D3 looks my senior year. But I kind of invested in myself and decided to go to prep school, and obviously it worked out. And probably like halfway through my prep school year, I still like hadn't get any D1 offers. And then I played a game at Rhode Island College, and after that game got offered from Binghamton. And then, Colgate came a little after that. I came on an official visit here. And I was, obviously lucky enough to receive an offer and then come in here. But I don't know what certain time I would say, like I decided like I really, really want to do this. Probably like freshman year is like kind of like I said, when I fell in love with South Kingstown basketball, I kind of like fell in love with basketball even more as a whole. And that's when I just decided to like really, really commit to it and kind of devote a lot of my life to it. So
yeah, and when you invest in something like basketball or a sport at such a young age, it finally pays off a few years down the road. Here you are now with Colgate. So, what was it about Colgate? You mentioned a few other offers on the table, but not many Division I offers. But why Colgate in the end?
Yeah, so I took my visit here. They were coming off March Madness appearance. They lost to Tennessee in the first round. First time they made it in a long time. And I guess it was just the timing of the visit. The whole campus was kind of fired up of, what Colgate basketball just did and what they can be in the future. And the guys like obviously love playing basketball, but top of their priority list was winning, and that's obviously something on the top of my priority list. And then I kind of met all the coaches and saw in the team and kind of saw how much of a family they are, and just made it an easy choice for me. It's just all right. Like after the visit, I actually I had a visit with the head coach at the end of my head coach and the family, like right at the end of the visit, and I was like, yeah, this is the place for me, coach. Like it's awesome here. So that's yeah, I like it a lot. So
I always say like when I mean, I was the same thing with URI. I mentioned my dad went to URI, but they had the sports media program. I had never been to Rhode Island, but just coming to see the surrounding area, Narragansett, it's a beautiful campus. Like as soon as I took that last, or maybe it was the first visit, like senior year of high school, I was like, once I get in, like I'm probably gonna go here. You kind of have that gut feeling, you kind of have that instinct. So yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So to transition a little bit into your time at Colgate, I might be off with my timing, but so my freshman year, and I mentioned I'm a rising senior as well, was 2019 to 2020. Was that your freshman year of college as well, or?
Yeah, that was my freshman.
Okay, so that was the COVID years. So
yeah.
I understand, that was kind of a weird year. From a like a Division I athlete's perspective, can you maybe just describe like how COVID impacted it, and then also maybe the biggest lesson that you've learned, from that experience, just reflecting on it now?
Yeah, obviously, like you said, it was crazy. So we went through basically up to March. It was just a normal season, and then you start to hear like, oh, COVID, Corona, like everybody's kind of freaking out. Like, oh, what is this? And we were in our championship game, one of the first championship games of any NCAA league or conference or anything. And we lost to BU. And then after that game, everybody's obviously bummed out. We're all like looking at our phone, and the whole Rhody Gobert incident happens where he's touching all the microphones. And we're like, what is going on? And then so we get called into the locker room the next day, and our coach is like, this is a great team. Like, I love this team. And I'm not going to – like he sees things are getting canceled. The games are getting canceled. He's like, I'm not going to close the door on the season until we basically, someone closes it for us. And we're like, all right, like, we'll see you guys soon. Like, we'll get on the court probably tomorrow and practice or whatever. We all get up and we look at our phones and it's like March Madness is canceled. And we're like, what? So then we all sit back down and coach was like, all right, guys, like, I guess this is it. And then we get to school, the school says like everybody's got to go home.
Yeah.
So we meet one more time. It's like, I don't know when I'll be able to see you guys again, but like try to stay in shape, try to be ready to go. Hopefully we'll meet up again soon. So it's kind of like we're with each other every single day. We lose the championship. We get to hang out maybe 4 more days and then cut off and go home. And basically everybody goes into quarantine after that. It's just because it's the beginning of it. So it was a crazy, just abrupt end to the season. And unfortunately, we didn't get to come back up to campus that summer. The school was like pretty strict on rules, so we didn't get to see each other until the start of the next school year. So that was a pretty crazy freshman year.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can totally, probably relate a little bit in that I actually, for me, I went to the URI Dayton game. The next day I was supposed to come home for spring break, and that was when Obi Toppin had come into the Ryan Center. I'm a Knicks fan too, so now reflecting on it, I'm like, wow, that's really cool. I can see Obi Toppin play. But the next day I took like the train home because I think like freshmen were not have cars back then.
Yeah.
Took the train home, spring break. We stayed for that week. We were supposed to come back the next week, and then the school was like, don't come back another week, and then never came back.
Yeah.
And then I started this podcast. So Zoom was like, a new thing. So yeah, it's like, it's so crazy. But I feel like just reflecting on that experience, maybe you can relate, like it happened for a reason. And I think, we're better people in the end because of it. Like some of the opportunities I think that I've gotten out of COVID occurring, I don't think they would have, maybe they would have happened. I don't know. But I like to say everything happens for a reason. So it was definitely a weird time. Hopefully we don't have to go through that ever again. But and I was supposed to, actually, I didn't even mention this. I was supposed to, because I'm from New York, I was supposed to go to the Barclays Center the very next day to see Rhode Island play in the Atlantic 10 tournament. Never happened. They can't. I checked my phone as I was getting on the train, and tournament was canceled. But like I said, I think everything happens for a reason. So I'm glad, we can hopefully finally put that behind us. But yeah, crazy freshman year.
Yeah.
But you were actually recognized at the conference level that year by being named Patriot League All-Freshman Team. And then, as you mentioned, you come up short against BU, pandemic hits, and I can imagine you guys come in with a chip on your shoulder for the next year, but also a lot of unknown, like unanswered questions going into the next year. The next year happens. I have a few stats here. You guys finished 11-1 in the conference play. Took down Loyola. You made it to the all-tournament team. And then Colgate actually punched their ticket to the big dance. You started all 16 games that year. Just to read off some stats, averaged 9.1 points, 1.1 blocks, 1.3 assists, shot nearly 61% from the field. And that year, that was the first year, so you guys went to the round of 64. I believe it was Arkansas, right? You went up against Coach Muss, right? Yeah. So obviously a adjustment from your freshman year, but what do you think made that year so special? Like I said, you're coming off the COVID year, but as a whole coming together, what was so special about that run?
Yeah, it was a really, like kind of staying on the whole COVID thing here is just kind of stayed in another interesting year. We come to, we're kind of hoping that we'll have a normal basketball year, but obviously they canceled on conference. So, it's kind of weird to hear you say like started all 16 games because usually you play like 30 something.
Right.
So that's obviously a really weird year for the Patriot League, but basically every Patriot League didn't play non-conference. So, we just jumped right into Patriot League play, and we played every Saturday and Sunday, just back-to-back games. And then you would practice throughout the week. And so we won the first game we played against Army, like I think it was like 100 to like 50. Like I think it's, they kept us in the practice gym a little bit too long. We were really excited for our first game. And then, so we win that game on Saturday, and then we play Sunday, the second game of the season, and we lose. We're all kind of like, what just happened? Like, we just beat the team by 50. Like, that's when we kind of realized, like, all right, we're going to play on back-to-back days. Like, we got to take this, like, even if we win by 50, we got to stay serious and be ready to go the next day. But, like we said, that was it. That was our only loss. We kept making our way through the Patriot League. And, beat Loyola. That was at home. Kind of felt good to, after losing to BU at home the year before that. It's kind of the worst feeling is losing on your home court, especially you get back in the locker room and we can hear all the BU fans going crazy. But even though we didn't have any fans at our championship game, we were able to have a good time and we beat Loyola. And then so that year we were actually one of the last tournament or conferences to play. So we beat Loyola. I think we had coach was like, all right, you got an hour to go pack before the bus leaves and we're getting on a plane. So we get on a plane, go to Indianapolis and quarantine for 2 or 3 days. And then we started to practice in the bubble. And then, like you said, we played Arkansas. And for the first time all season, we got to play in front of fans. Pretty awesome. We probably at that point, it was the biggest game of my life. And it felt good to, have, even though they blocked off the first section, have my parents up in the second section. It was pretty awesome. I had 5,000 people there, I think. So obviously not a full stadium, still following COVID rules. But we were first half, we were up maybe 13, 15 points, and they made a run at the end of the first half to bring them within. They took the lead, I think, up by 1 or 2, and then obviously we didn't end up winning, but we played them pretty close. But it was a pretty awesome year. Just to even have a season, and then just make it a successful one during COVID. So,
yeah, and I can't even imagine just playing in an NCAA tournament. I can't just to even play on national television, and go up against an SEC powerhouse like Arkansas. They had Moses Moody that year, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I can't even imagine being a part of that game and. From going from not making or making the championship, losing during a COVID year, playing an unbelievable year, even though it was a shortened one, and having no fans, to flying out to Indianapolis and going up against, a future NBA player and, like I said, a Power 5 team. So just that entire sequence of events is kind of mind-blowing. And then to do it the following year and go back to the round of 64. So, just this past season, an all-Patriot, like I said, averaged 9.9 points, 6.2 rebounds, 1.4 assists, shot 64% from the field. You just continue to improve each year, and this year the team finished 23-12. Again, more games, more of a regular season schedule. Still probably not, everything is back to normal, but a little bit more normalcy mixed in there. And then you guys defeated Navy in the conference championship. Like I said, went back to the big dance, this time against Johnny Davis in number 3 Wisconsin. So I actually did watch that game. It was looking pretty good for you guys. And, we were talking maybe a potential upset, but walk me through that game and maybe, again, just this season in general in the past year.
Yeah, so last year, again, COVID's still hanging around, but it's, for the most part, a normal season. So we started non-conference, kind of struggled with some injuries. We finished non-conference 4-10, and we were kind of frustrated and I don't want to say rattled, but we were what is going on? We know we're better than this. And then conference play starts, and me and one of my other teammates, fresh off COVID, so we get cleared to play. Basically, we get a half a practice, and then we're playing our first game back from COVID. So we're basically playing a game after quarantining for 7 days. So it was pretty crazy, and we lost our first Patriot League game. And then, we were kind of same thing, guys, we're better than this. What's going on? And finally pick it up, and we get going and win games. We win games. Like you said, we get to Navy in the championship, and Navy's a great team. They didn't really have generally one or superstar. They're just a really good team. Play really good team basketball. And we got up to a really big lead. They kind of fought back, made it a little uncomfortable for us. And then we kind of pulled away again and won the championship. And, that one was a little bit more fun, when our own home gym is packed and we're able to actually have people in the stands and, everybody rushes the court. And like I said, fun having your family there. And then, we had a little bit of time, so we didn't have to get in the plane right after. We have a couple of days off, and then we practice at home, and then we fly out to we played in Wisconsin, so kind of a home game for them. But I don't make the tournament, so I can't complain. So we fly out. We play in the Milwaukee Bucks arena. We practice at Marquette for a couple of days out there, and then we practice in the big arena, and then we play the next day. Every game we go into, we're confident, and we have really good coaches who come up with really good game plans, and against, like you said, those great players like Moses Moody and Johnny Davis. So we just had certain things that we wanted to focus in on going into the game, and we were able to do that. And obviously we kept it close. I don't remember the exact final score, but it was we were right there. It's kind of saying the same story again. It's kind of getting sick of saying we got there, but like this year we're trying to make some noise. Like we're not just trying to lose by 4, lose by 3. Like we're trying to win by 3, win by 4, and actually pull off the upset. So that's kind of one of the main things that keeps us working hard in the summer, I would say. So
yeah, it's motivation. It's just motivation to get back out there, I guess, the next year, and sort of that underdog mentality. Just to go out there and prove the nation wrong, prove everyone wrong in the biggest stage. It's Pfizer Forum, right? Where the Bucks play. Yeah, and I think Marquette plays there as well, right?
Yeah, they play. I'm pretty sure they play all their games there.
Okay. Yeah, that's really. I mean, again, just another remarkable year. You really can't. It's a story, really, just to go back and say, I went up against another NBA-like team, Power 5, conference team in an NBA stadium. It's pretty impressive. You're playing on the same hardwood that Giannis plays on, so it's crazy to think about, but
yes, yeah.
It's definitely something that you can be proud of, I should say. But you've had so much success, at the conference level, at the national level. If you have, maybe one memory or something that sticks out to you, just reflecting on these last 3 seasons at Colgate, what would that be?
Obviously we already talked about the 2 championships, and those are obviously the 2 main things that kind of stick out to anybody who looks at Colgate basketball. So besides those, like you said, playing on just those big games, and this last season we played Syracuse, so we beat Syracuse, which is pretty awesome. It's like we play them every year. They're like 45 minutes away, and I think we won like 52 years without winning. And last year we won. Our whole community is pretty fired up, so that was pretty awesome to see everybody around town excited about that big win. Even though we were struggling a little bit in non-conference play, they love to see the win against Syracuse, so they kept coming out and supporting. So that was pretty awesome this past year.
Yeah, that is awesome. Is Syracuse like close to Colgate distance-wise? I'm not sure.
Yeah, so we're a little bit north of Syracuse. They're like 45 minutes away, 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's one of those like in-state kind of region rivalries, sort of like URIPC.
Yeah, a little bit, but Syracuse kind of previously have been.
Yeah, I mean, all respect to Boeheim. He's one of the best coach. Another surreal moment. I feel like just sharing a court with Coach Boeheim and his sons too. That's incredible. So, yeah. A couple more questions for you before we wrap up here. Just why should college basketball fans across the nation or in New York, wherever it may be, just be looking out for Colgate this season?
I mean, I think, like I said, our goal is to not just get to the tournament; it's to win some games in the tournament and make some noise. And I think if you're a true college basketball fan, I think you're going to love the way we play. Like I said, we have some great coaches who have some great game plans, just great offense. I always say just Colgate basketball is like how I describe our program. Obviously, that doesn't really make sense, but it's just the way we play offense and defense is just we play as a team, and I think that's pretty awesome to watch. And it's awesome to be a part of. So I'm assuming it's as awesome to watch. So I would say just overall a great team, and we have fun while we're doing it. So that's the other thing. So
yeah, 100%. And quickly, just to go off of that before we get into a couple of rapid fire questions, just to end it. To go off of that, why should college basketball fans remember the name Keegan Records?
I would just say, hard worker, fun to watch. I mean, I love Colgate basketball, and I love when our team succeeds. So, I'll always be fired up when we're playing well out there. And, yeah.
Yeah, there it is. And now just a few, couple of rapid fire questions just kind of end it here. A little bit of fun, and then so I mean, let's just get right into it. So if you could just compare your game, to any basketball player, any level, who do you try and model your game after the most, and why?
I would say, there's a lot of different players, but obviously, like we were just talking about Giannis. Like I love the way he plays, really long. Really can stretch the floor. Obviously, if I could be like that, I would. But that's a guy I love watching. A guy I love watching his moves, and just other solid post players like Tim Duncan, just his moves and stuff like that. So those are the two that kind of come to mind.
Yeah, sure. Toughest player you've had to guard just throughout your career?
I would say guys really Isaac Okoro, played him at Auburn. Got drafted by Cleveland. He's just super athletic. It was just another level. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's so cool. Just again going up against some of these Power 5 teams, and as a mid-major, just to go up against guys that are going to be in the NBA draft the next year, and to say that you faced them, another cool moment.
Yeah.
Favorite place to just hang out in the Kingston or Narragansett area, your go-to spot?
Yeah, and in the summer I love going to the beach. I love going to East Pacific Beach and just hang out with some friends, and or like you said, down in Narragansett. Boone Street's always fun. Watch some games down there on the court on a nice day in the summer. So yeah.
What is your go-to warm-up song? What do you always got playing while you're warming up on the court?
This past year, me and my teammate had a song. It was "Good Life" with Kanye and T-Pain. Kind of fired us up. So
yeah, gotta love Kanye. Kanye always fires me up. I mean, any of the old stuff. I can't listen to the new stuff, but great song. 2 more questions for you. Favorite off the court memory of Colgate? You talked a little bit about some of the on court memories, but off the court memory in your collegiate time.
Yeah, I would say probably coming back from this tournament the past year, and just when we came back, it was pretty late, and all the kids were on spring break, but a lot of the staff and like the president, vice president, athletic director all came down to the bus and kind of congratulated us on a great season. It was really like an uplifting thing after a tough loss like that, and that kind of, we kind of looked around at each other like, guys, like we kind of did accomplish a lot, and like we had a good season. Like let's take some time. We're gonna take some time off and kind of celebrate a little bit, because we do deserve it. And just seeing the staff and faculty, everybody come out was kind of pretty awesome. So
yeah, it's those little moments too that stick with you. Hearing from a higher up, congratulations on a big year. And I feel like you don't really think about it in the moment. You're frustrated about what happened, the outcome, but really in the end, you do have to be proud of what you've accomplished, and you certainly have accomplished a lot in the 3 years there. So one more question for you to wrap everything up here. Best piece of advice you can give maybe an aspiring college basketball player, maybe watching this at home, maybe looking to take on a similar path than you?
Yeah, I'd say something I learned from some of my coaches: input equals output. So whatever you put in will eventually pay off and come out as a positive. So if you just kind of keep investing in yourself, like I talked about earlier, just kind of make the best decisions, what you think will lead you to the best path in life. Just keep, investing in yourself, and keep whatever you put in yourself will eventually come out in a positive way. So input equals output is what I would say.
Yeah, there it is right there. Keegan, thank you again for taking the time. I look forward to seeing, what Colgate's going to accomplish this next season. Best of luck, stay healthy and all that, and hope to hear from you soon.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate you having me on.
Thank you.